Steven. I'm here with John, Tiffany, and Erock, and we are from Just Got Played. And today we're going to tell you the favorite game that we played in December 2022. So this doesn't have to be a game that was new to us. It could be one of our old favorites that we pulled out and just had a really great gaming session of. So we do this every month. Let's kick it off with Tiffany. Tiffany, what was your favorite game you played in December?
So this came right at the very end of December. It was a gift to us. It was actually a gift to Eric for Christmas. And we got it to the table, and it is a small box, but there's a big game in there, and that game is Cascadia. So this is a tile laying game where you are building your ecosystems, and you are placing animals in those ecosystems based on the animals that are printed on the tiles. And it's super simple. You just take a tile and a tile with an animal on it and a tile that has habitats on it. One is like a hexagonal cardboard one, and the other is a wooden circle disc. And you just take one of each and you add them to your habitat collection. And that's it. And you can earn acorns that give you special powers. And then you can use those special powers throughout the game if you decide to, or you can just keep the acorns as extra points at the end of the game. Or no, they're not acorns, they're pine cones. But yeah, it's a really fun game. We got it, like I said, as a gift for Christmas. And the very first time we played it with family members who enjoy gaming, but they're not necessarily as hardcore as we are. And they seem to enjoy it as well. So it was just a nice way to spend some time with family this Christmas over a game that was new to me. And we enjoyed it so much. We've played it several since then.
So you guys hadn't played that before, but was it like on a wish list or something? Did somebody just randomly pick that for you? Or
I mean, so I don't want to go into a whole tangent story here, but basically we got Calico a while back, and we both like Calico, but it's brutal. That's one of the hardest games I've ever played.
It's crunchy.
It's amazing for it being, this big, and it's just a brain burning. And we just kind of like paid attention to some rumblings and things going on in the industry, and the general buzz was that Cascadia was kind of the same kind of game, but it was easier to play. So it just kind of made our list, and we were curious about that. I put it on my Christmas list, and Mom got it for us, and yeah, I think it's great. I think it's fantastic, really.
Yeah, I think it's great too, and I think it's a lot easier to play than
Calico. A lot easier. Yeah,
and it's probably one of my favorite games from 2021. I think it was published in 2021, right? That's up there for game of the year for me. John, we played this together, didn't we?
Yes, I think you mentioned. I really enjoy Cascadia. I love the concept, and there's different goals each time. You're trying to go for different animals, and there's a bunch of different things to do in the game. So it's not everybody's going for the same animal and the same tile, and then they're all fighting over it. There's a lot of different things you can do that I really enjoy. And on the topic of Calico is the biggest trap in board game history. You look at it and you're just like, I want to play this game while sipping some tea, and then you go to play it and you're just like, it's a knife fight in a phone booth. You're literally like, you come out of that game feeling like you just went 3 rounds with Ali. It is a tough game, and you're right.
It's all like quilts and cats. Oh, how cute!
Yeah. Oh, this looks great.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Calico is actually, it's a great game if you're looking for that kind of thing, but I prefer Cascadia, and Cascadia is what I want when I look at the graphics for Calico. So I agree. I think it's a great game, and I think in the genre, I would much rather go with Cascadia than Calico.
I like Cascadia more than Calico, but that Calico was sort of the opposite for me. I saw it and I was like, cats on quilts. That just looks like some simple game, whatever. But then somebody asked me, hey, we're playing this, want to play? I'm like, oh, all right, cool, whatever, I'll play. I'll just play things if you grab me while I'm walking by. And then I start playing it, and I'm like, what is this? This is not at all what I was expecting, but in a good way.
Yeah, someone takes the tile you want, and it's World War III.
Yeah, I'll say, because it just destroyed everything. It destroyed everything that you were trying to do. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's like one tile in the deck that you're hoping for. It comes up, you're like, that's great. And someone's like, oh, that's purple. I like the purple ones. And they take it. And you're just like,
or
do you have any idea what you've done?
What's worse is when they're like, yeah, none of these really work for me. I just am going to take this one. And you're like, could you not? Could you literally take anything else? If you don't care, could you just not?
It's the worst kind of game because for you, it's the holy grail. For them, it's a coffee cup. And they're just like, they're sipping out of your grail. And you're like, I really want that.
That's awesome. Well, I think we talked about Calico more than Cascadia, but
Cascadia is a good game. Play that.
Cascadia is the better game, probably. Yeah. I did. That's a personal thing, but yeah, sure. All right, Erock. So was Calico or Cascadia your favorite game also played in December?
It was really hard not to choose Cascadia. I was surprised how much I liked that game. It's not really in my wheelhouse. I like complicated, long things, and it's really not that complicated. It's not that long. The turns generally go by very fast because you just pick one set of stuff, and then you can take as long as you want to trying to figure out where do I want to put this stuff down, while everybody else takes their turn. So it moves fast. I like it. It's awesome.
The graphic design is beautiful.
What is your choice?
What is your choice if it's not
right? So it was hard not to choose Cascadia, but I think my favorite game of December is actually Quacks of Quedlinburg, which is another game that we got for Christmas, and we played it with the same family members that Tiffany was talking about. It's my sister and my brother-in-law, and I just really like this game. This one we had played before, which is how it made it onto our list. Obviously by, well, first of all, if you've seen the videos, it's because you guys in this group talk so much about it. And so we gave it a shot one time and really, really enjoyed it. So we got it for Christmas. And we played it, like I said, with my sister and my brother-in-law. It was just a really, really fun game. It's been fun every time I've played it. There's not a whole lot of what I really, like my favorite things about board games are these deep, crunchy, long experience. This is not that. It's just fun. And it's nice to play something fun where everybody's sitting around just having a good time. It's not generally what I aim for, fun at my table. Come on. But I like this. I like it a lot. At one point, my sister was like reaching in her bag and she was the last one left. We had already either, crapped out or stopped. And she's like, man, I just wish I could feel the difference between these things. I'm like,
that's you have to kind of the whole point of the game. Some people, when you're playing this game, not saying, 8 or 9 year olds or anything, but you got to watch them because they'll pull something out and be like, oh.
Well, I guarantee you that we've all seen this move when you're playing a bag builder.
I'm like, you cannot look in the bag. She's like, I can't look in at all. No,
I can't see what I have left in there. No,
that's not the point.
Not at all. Like, no, you can't look in the bag.
Yeah, at one point she tried to explain to me why it was okay for her to look in the bag, and I was like, it's not okay. It says never.
You could house rule it that it's okay to look at the bag, not while you're drawing, but just like, what's left in here? I can't remember.
We cannot house rule that if there is a rule explicitly against that.
You can house rule anything.
You've got an anti.
You could say that you have to play the game while Eric stands on his head, and that could be a house rule.
It's a board game, not the cops. You can do whatever you want with it.
No.
You can use it to play Monopoly. It won't work, but you can give it a try.
I don't think we actually talked about the game. All right, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, it's kind of a total quintessential pressure luck game. You're buying things every round potentially that you put into a bag, and then you pull them out one at a time, and you're trying not to bust. And that's all there is to it. How far can I get before I bust? So it's total push your luck. Just like other push your luck games, some of the enjoyment in there is watching the other people as they're drawing and going through their own little anguish about what's going on. If there's any knock against this game, which I don't really even think it's a negative, it's just different than I'm used to, is in most pressure luck games, everybody has their own turn. So it becomes like a theater with what they're going to do on their turn. But in this, most of the time, everybody's drawing at the same time. So you're going through your own personal drama, and so is everybody else. So you're not really seeing their thing, and they're not really seeing your thing. But it doesn't really take away from the fun of the game. It's still fun drawing your own bag. And it would take forever if you did it the other way. But, like I said, if there was any one little knock against it, I would say that's it. But I don't even consider it a negative, really, because it helps to speed the game along.
I know how you make house rules and you refuse to do them. But what I found is a neat idea is you have everybody draw until they get to their second cherry blossom. And once you do that, then you take turns around the table one at a time and just see how far that they can get it. So that way it's still simultaneous.
Mystic Veil, where everybody
Yes, where you're pre-drawing your deck almost.
Now you're pressing your luck. So now,
yeah, when you get to the pressure luck, stop, and then we'll take turns around. So I think you might like that as a good hybrid to that.
Interesting.
Yeah, but just as you're making the potion, don't put too much cherry coke in it, and it won't explode.
Exactly.
You know, one of the things I like about it is when you do explode, it's not like you lose everything, right? You still can either get the money and buy new ingredients or take the points. So you really are losing half of the stuff, not all of the stuff. And in fact, I see several people who will just keep going until they explode on the first turn, because the first turn isn't very many points.
And just get as much money as you possibly can to get more
stuff. Right? And besides, there's a catch-up mechanism from Rat Tails for people who are behind. You know, so busting in the first turn or the second turn or whatever is not that big of a deal. Busting in the last, 8 or 9 is awful.
I enjoy the variety of the choices too. Like you can swap them out. There's A and B sides, and they're all good. It's not like, oh, you always want to buy this when it's always going to win the game. It's just like, how do you want to build this? It's pretty neat.
All right. Well, it seems like we're on a bit of a Christmas kick here with a couple of Christmas gifts listed. So I'm going to do something that is not a Christmas gift, but maybe Christmas adjacent. And my top play for December is a mouthful. Hold on. Exit the Game Advent Calendar, The Mystery of the Ice Cave. So this is the original one from 2020, and I'm cheap, so I bought the old one because it was a lot cheaper instead of the current one. But we hadn't played any of them, so it didn't really matter. But my kids, they like advent calendars, and I bought them. In years past, they've gotten Lego or Pokemon or something, and then I was like, they don't need 24 little bits of junk every year. So then I started getting the ones that were like edible, like gummies or something, and then my buddy Murr, shout out to Murr, in case he's watching this, told me about the Exit the Game Advent Calendar thing, which is basically 24 little escape rooms in a box. So every day you open a door, there's a card or clue card or something in there, and there's a little narrative, and then there's a little room you have to look in, and you have to do stuff. I don't want to spoil it because some of the stuff is pretty innovative, right? It's surprising what they back into these little tiny rooms, and just every day you're just trying to solve a little puzzle. So I got this for my kids to do with my wife, and they did all of them together, but I sat there and watched most of them, and a couple of them I participated. So I will just say, watching this and participating in this was awesome. I probably should have done all 24 of them, but I got as a gift for them, so I didn't want to jump in there, and give my 2 cents on everything. Actually, it was sort of nice to have somebody separately who wasn't playing, because it has a clue book. So if you can't figure out what's going on, you flip this thing over, it gives you one clue, you flip this other thing over, as a second clue, you flip this other thing over, and it's the solution. So anytime they got to the point where it was the solution, they would ask me to look at the solution and then try to explain to them what they had been missing. So it was sort of like an extra shot, an extra clue, without them just being told what it was. So that actually worked out pretty good. But yeah,
so do the house rule where you can look at the solution like you can look in the bag in Quacks.
Yeah,
it makes it a lot easier.
You could just jump straight to the solution if you wanted to, but that's not so fun. But this is Inca and Marcus Brand are the people who design these. I think they're pretty famous game designers who've done a lot of good stuff. I was surprised at the variety of stuff that they integrated into that box. It's great, and I think next year I'll get another one that is older and cheaper. When it goes on sale, I'll be on the lookout for that. I think there's 2 others. So this was the Mystery of the Ice Cave. There's also the Hunt for the Golden Book and the Silent Storm. Maybe I've never heard of the Silent Storm, but it's listed on Board Game Geek. So,
well, you haven't heard of it because it's silent.
Yeah, there you go. So anyway, but if you like escape rooms, if you like that sort of puzzle thing, then I highly recommend getting one of these advent calendars. And you don't have to wait till December. You could just do it anytime you want. We're just doing it for fun, like an advent calendar, like you're supposed to.
House rule. We'll do this advent calendar in April.
Yeah, house rule, February. Who cares? There's no month with less than 24 days, right? So, yeah. All right, cool. So that's my pick for December. John, what have you got for us?
So mine is a new game, and it is Heat Pedal to the Metal. And essentially, if you've ever played Formula D and or Flamme Rouge, then you essentially have played this game. It takes the elements from both of those games, two of the most famous racing board games, and combines them together and does it elegantly. It's like a buffet, and it picks and chooses all the mechanics that they'd like from this, all this, the way this is designed, and it puts them into one game. And it's not something that I thought that I wanted because I have both Formula D and Flamme Rouge, but it does it in a way that's more interesting than those games individually. And the theme of it is a lot more engaging for people. I love Flamme Rouge. It's one of my favorite games, but I can't get it to the table because when I go, hey, do you want to play a board game about racing bicycles? They go, no, I don't, but thank you for asking. So the theme of it, unfortunately, detracts from getting it to the table, even though I love the theme as well. So this takes that and it puts it, hey, would you like to drive F1 cars around a track and overstress your engine to try to get extra distance? And they say yes to that. So it wraps two of my favorite games up into a slightly different theme, but one that makes it more exciting to get to the table. And the mechanics all just work well together. You've got a handful of cards, you're playing them, you're moving distances, you go through the check boxes, but you can also add stress to your engine to try to get a little bit further, but later down the road, you're going to have to deal with that. No pun intended. And then when you get to the corners, you have to stop and take the corners carefully. So it fits thematically, it fits with all the mechanics that it's borrowing from other games, and it just puts it all into this one neat, marketable package. So I really enjoyed that, and that's heat pedal to the metal.
Yeah, have you guys, Tiffany, Erock, have you played Heat
No,
yet?
I caught some buzz on it, but I haven't had a chance to see it in person even, let alone play it.
Yeah, there's a lot of buzz on it, and it's hard to get a hold of right now. I mean, there is another printing coming, obviously.
I got it as a Christmas present.
Hey, nice.
Hey, there you go. I know. Your wife actually had trouble hunting it down, but she did finally find it, and I'm glad she did because I got to play it because he got it as a Christmas present. I also think it's a good game. I do really like racing games. I will also play Flamme Rouge because thematically I'll play anything. I'll play cats on a quilt apparently. So but yeah, solid game, and it's Days of Wonder, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So they have really good production values. So it's
Well, beyond that, the amount of content in the box, there are 4 maps. There are enough for 6 racers, and they've got room to put another 2 racers in, it looks like. Plenty of room within the box. And then they've got advanced stuff. You can add weather elements. You can add things like brakes and tires. And you can do a full championship circuit where you play 4 races. And in between the races, you can upgrade your car. So when you think of Days of Wonder, you think really well designed, kind of simple games, but really good. And that's really it. But this goes above and beyond to where it feels like there's a full expansion included in the base game.
I would say 2. It feels like there's 2 expansions in that.
Easily, yeah. I think that the amount of content you get for what it is and the stuff you can do with it is just beyond what I expect from any just out of the box board game. And it really delivers.
Yeah, I'm glad that didn't shoot them in the foot because the MSRP on this is a little higher than you would expect for a racing game, just a card driven racing game. But the price fits, right? I mean, the content that is in there justifies what you get for that price.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Nice.
All right. Cool. Well, those were our favorite plays of games in December 2022. I'm Steven. That's John. That's Tiffany. That's Erock. We're from Just Got Played. And if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel. Look at the description down below. You can see all the different social media places that you can follow us on, or you can come chat with us on the Discord channel that's there as well. We love to talk about board games, and you're just going to distract me from working or something. So just go ahead and fire off a question.
It's not that hard. You can easily distract Steven from working.
And also talk with Neutral about Civilization. He's down for that anytime.
yeah, that's right.
Indeed.
All right. Well, until next time, thanks for watching.
Bye, y'all.
Take care.
Thank you. See you next time.